Topsnap Podcast. Wow. Yawning like a motherfucker. How you guys doing out there? It's Thursday afternoon, July the 13th. Hope you're all doing well out there. I'm just throwing down a quickie. The Giovanta quickie. I want the quickie. I want the cookie and I want the kiki. A little bit of quickie. Just got back from the dentist. That was fun. Chompers are all chomped out. So there's we're gonna do a McGregor, Floyd Mayweather podcast, if you will. It'll be dedicated to those two fighting. There's this huge thing going on. Now, if you're not into MMA or boxing or martial arts or combat sports for that matter, change the channel. But if you're into, let's just say, a spectacle of sports, I mean, we don't even know what this is going to turn into. Dana White mentioned it. He said it's going to be a shit show because, for whatever reasons, you know, there's a different promotion doing it. It's not the UFC is not promoting this fight with McGregor. It's actually a McGregor sports and entertainment promotion and Showtime and the money team, the Mayweather promotions. So it's those. There might be some other small time in there, but they're gonna put this fight together. It's put together. They're already doing a world tour. So if you're not aware of this, Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, a boxing legend, let's just say a living legend of boxing, and literally a living legend being made right now in Conor McGregor in the UFC, which is mixed martial arts combat. And they're doing something. I know that it's more than just the play, the hype. I mean, they're really gonna. Conor has something to prove right now because he called out Mayweather. Mayweather doesn't really have anything to prove to anybody, other than that he has to defend himself in this somehow and not get knocked out. I think that if Mayweather does not get knocked out and he's elusive, he will win this fight, hands down. However, for him to do that against McGregor, who's got as Faraz Zahabi. He's a coach of MMA, and how he calls McGregor's left hand, he calls it is it's the death touch. He just taps people, and they go to sleep. And you don't have to like somebody to like them. I mean, you don't have to like their personality or their mannerisms or their vocality. Okay? Is that a word, vocality? But if they stand for something that is at the root core of what you stand for, which is being honest with yourself, honest with other people, and not fearing the unknown. And see, he showed respect. Conor McGregor showed respect to Floyd first. And then Floyd got a little out of hand, and McGregor put it on. And then when Showtime cut off McGregor's mic on their first press tour, which is 2 days ago on Tuesday, yesterday, Wednesday, McGregor went crazy in Toronto. So the first stop was in LA. Second stop is Toronto. Today, Thursday, they're going to be in Brooklyn. And then I believe tomorrow they fly to London, man. That's a lot of work in a short amount of time. So, and being in that, at that level, I think he can touch him. I think he can touch him. He can definitely be with him up close. For him to for Conor McGregor to get knocked out by Floyd Mayweather, Mayweather's gonna have to just touch that, barely, just give it a little click. It's gonna have to be oh so subtle to move him. It's gonna be one if that's the case. I got my money on McGregor. I'm not a McGregor fan per se. Okay, I'm not a fanboy, but I am a fan of what he's been doing, how he's been going forward. I mean, you can't hate it. I mean, he's really putting mixed martial arts on the map. He's doing it in a way that no one else has done it before. And like it or love it, hate it or despise it, he's doing a lot of people who are in the MMA world, fighting, the coaches and all that. He's doing everybody who's involved in that a huge, huge favor. And especially if he wins. Because if he wins in a dominant fashion at Floyd Mayweather's own game, it will enlighten the world about what MMA is. I think there's a connotation about the acronym that people just don't understand. I think that the acronym MMA is thrown around quite often, and people just, I don't think they get it. I really, really don't. And what MMA is, besides it being the acronym that starts for mixed martial arts, it's an ideal, a lifestyle, a thought process, and a culture. And when somebody wraps themselves up in, when somebody wraps themselves up in the MMA world, it's every facet of fighting. So I think that boxers and the people, the laymen who don't know combat sports or anything, and they hear the word MMA or that person's an MMA fighter, I think there's a connotation of like there's just no boxing. Boxing's not relevant in the MMA world, and nothing could be further from the truth. However, it's a different type of boxing. It's not point boxing. It's not headgear and big gloves boxing. That was set into place so that people didn't cut their hands, people didn't get cut up in the face. You could get bruised up and swollen, but you're less likely to get real cut with a lot of that protection. But you still feel the hits. I used to do a lot of boxing when I was younger, and I'll never forget. I went against a guy who was probably 30 pounds lighter than I was, and he knocked me silly. And this is about 1994, 95, 96, around there. I started jiu-jitsu back then, and I was boxing. I was boxing with a sheriff, cousin that's a sheriff. And he, obviously those sheriffs, they're always mixed up into combat sports, combat training, and so forth. I mean, if you're a sheriff and if you're not drilling and you're not doing combat sports related drills and study, you got problems, man. You cannot rely on that gun. You can't. You can't pull that fucking gun out if you're in trouble all the fucking time. It just doesn't work. So sheriffs, police, cops, off duty, whatever, everyone needs to, who's in law enforcement in any fashion, even fish and game, they need to train. Come across poachers or something, fuck you up. So this is this connotation that boxing is completely different than MMA. When it comes down to the specifics of the game, of course, because you're talking about a game. Even with mixed martial arts, there's certain rules that are in play. And even a purist would say, well, even MMA isn't, there's steps above MMA, like MMA is against boxing, because you could say, well, boxing's just, tying people up and hitting them. You can't use elbows, shins, feet, legs, whatever. You can't throw people to the ground and grapple. So somebody who's in, let's just say, military combat might look at MMA as being not as pure, because you don't hit in the nuts, you can't eye gouge, you can't pull hair. There's certain things like kicking or punching on the ground and soccer kicks and all these, there's rules. There's a bunch of rules to it too. So, there's always going to be a level above whatever you're dealing with. There's always another level above, and there's always going to be a level below. Doesn't matter what you're talking about. You're talking about sports, you're talking about business, you're talking about relationships. There's always levels to everything in the universe. And I think that MMA is at a high level. I don't think it's at the highest level of combat by any means. And I'm talking hand-to-hand. I'm not talking weapons. I'm talking hand-to-hand combat. It's right there. It's about as real as you can get, with the exception of some of these little funky rules that I think they're working out. Again, I hold the same opinion as Joe Rogan and a lot of these other guys, where I don't believe you should have gloves. If you and I are going to fight right now, whoever you are on that side, and it's like middle of the thing, I don't say stop, hold for a second, wrap my hands up real quick, make sure we're good. Yep. All right, let's get it on. That doesn't fucking happen, man. So these are little nuances. These are the quintessential pieces that are missing in the conversation when we talk about hand-to-hand combat, whether it be boxing or MMA, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, Roman Greco. Okay, get the point? It doesn't matter. There's going to be a nuance in between each one of these. Okay, the better and the worse, and the reality. The reality is that if you and I, we go hand-to-hand combat and it's to the death, hand weapons are going to probably going to happen. Like, if you're not going to kill each other, I'm not going to go, well, I can't grab the scissors here because this isn't fair for the guy. You know, I got to be able to kill him fairly. It's not going to happen. So there's a lot of people who master weapons with their hands. Maybe their hands aren't the weapon in direct, but indirectly, meaning they're so fast with their hands and they know how to manipulate and use a knife, or they could throw an object like this little tiny screwdriver. You know, this could be lethal for somebody, right? I mean, I guess, right? Throw it in their temple, or jab them in their eye socket. I mean, if that goes down in your eye socket, you're gonna probably fucking die. The thing's gonna go all the way deep, and you're not gonna have a good time. So I guess there's different ways of looking at fighting and different ways of looking at combat sports, and the right way is the way that you win. Okay, if you want to just be direct and blunt. But when we put it into these forums of competition, you have to have some type of rule. We're not, this isn't the Coliseum, and we're not trying to kill each other, because at the end of the day, anything goes when it comes to that. They used to put two people into fighting in the Coliseum, and then, the spectators would throw shit into the arena, and then those two men would run to go grab these weapons that are being thrown in to fight. So this has been going on forever, and probably still continue to go on forever. And in this instance, we're dealing with a spectacle of entertainment, martial arts, or combat arts, if you will, combat sports, because this is in a sports type setting, and you're dealing with a huge audience. This could be construed as a spectacle to take people's mind off of other things that are important in life. Okay, what we deem important as a society or as individuals. Is this fight important? Probably not. Is it going to be extremely important? That's a wrong word. Not important after the fact, but maybe critical to a genre of people, to an era of people. I think so. Like this era of people who are living right now, there's been this debate about different forms of fighting. And James Toney at one time came over to the MMA scene. He was a pro boxer, and he came over and he fought Randy Couture. in Randy Couture. I think he double-legged him. It means grab two legs like a bear hug, and you launch them directly in the air, and then you change their position. So you go from going vertical and you push them into a horizontal state in the air. Obviously, their feet aren't underneath them. You take them right down to the ground. They land on the ribs. They land on their face. They land on their back. And then the person who just did that can take control of them. And in my position of thinking, that's winning a fight. You know, that's part of fighting. People don't want to admit that if you take another human being and pick them up in the air and slam them to the ground super hard, that's not fighting. Sorry, I just took control of your whole body, took you to a place you didn't want to go, slammed you on the ground. Now, if I have any ground skills, you're fucked. So, you know, there's just going to be this back and forth, and I hope I can get in tomorrow. I'd like to get in Nick from Nick's Mix 6, and we'd like to get Brandon Ray. He's been on a couple times. Get him in here, and we're going to have a little podcast, I think, a little Mayweather and Mick, the Mac. Wow, I can't even remember his name. Conor McGregor. Mayweather McGregor. It's got a ring to it, huh? Or is it McGregor Mayweather? McGregor Mayweather. I think that sounds better. Mayweather McGregor? Who knows? Call in, write your congressman, tell them what you think. So yeah, this was going to be just quick upload. That's all this was. Just a little rant about what was going on with the fighting. It's going to happen August 26th. Tune in on Showtime. Find out who's going to be, you know, hosting this party, and go to it. You got to chip in $5 or $10. Go see it. I know some people are being very, very abrupt in their thought process and saying, I'm not going to go see this spectacle, this bullshit. It's not going to be worth it, or it's just, you know, I'm just going to contribute to these guys making money, and it's all, you know, passe. I don't think so. I think this is going to be something to witness. Some history is going to be witnessing here. I mean, if you had a chance to right now to go back and watch Ali fight Foreman, or Ali fight Frazier, or any of those, like Tyson fight Holyfield. I remember watching that on TV, man. If I could go and watch that right now again, like if that would be live, whoo! They fought twice, I think. He fought once when they fought once, and I think the second time he bit his ear off, or was that the first time? I don't remember. My facts are screwed up. But I mean, again, to go back, even watching smaller guys like Sugar Ray Leonard and Floyd Mayweather Sr., they fought way back in the day. That would be a great fight. I would love to see what Floyd Mayweather Sr. looked like. You know, I mean, you watch the videos, but I'm saying like live, like see how he was. I mean, he was throwing some punches the other day. He looked pretty good. He was at the press conference, and him and Conor were going back and forth, and he was throwing some shots out, and he looked good. For an older man, he looked good. I wouldn't want to fuck with the guy. So I hope they continue to have a great day. I think the press conference is probably going to go on about right. It's already probably went on, actually. Maybe it might go on tonight, because maybe it's tonight. And I'm saying that because, you know, New York's more of a nighttime city, and maybe, I wonder if they're really going to do that. MSG? Are they going to do it, hold it at MSG? Holy shit. I have no clue. Anyways, I'm having a great time right here. Just wanted to throw down a podcast to all y'all people out there. I'm going to post this right now. I have done like three or four other podcasts that are not up. I have not posted them. And was a little unnerved about posting one of them, because we did partake into some California legal cannabis on one of the podcasts. And, you know, there's some people who are just not used to that. Some people just don't realize that this is actually a legal substance in this state, just as legal as I can go down and buy alcohol and drink. I can buy cannabis and I can smoke it. Now, does that mean I need to get on camera and drink, or get on the camera and smoke, or do something like that? No. So I'm contemplating it. It was a good podcast. Chef Frank Koss, he's on it. And we were just talking about like cannabis and cooking. There's this whole new realm of cannabis and cooking. And in cannabis in a lot of different areas, not just cooking, but topical salves, topical dressings, and I'm not talking about the salad dressing. I'm talking about like actual salve for wound care. I have some CBD oils at home. I bought like a little container. It was like $50 for, I think it was about 3 ounces or 2.5 ounces. And I just burned my leg. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, I'm a puss. Burned my leg on my my primary cover. So the primary cover on a Harley, it kind of sticks out. It's where all the primary, that's what they call it, a primary. It's a primary drivetrain, and the motor spins, and it spins this primary drive, and then the primary drive spins the final drive on the bike, and yeah, I burnt the shit out of my leg on it. It kind of sticks out. So when you put your feet down, and just, I mean, it immediately I looked down and there was skin falling off. Not cool. And then I was getting off the bike and I burnt the front side of my shin too. That was a mess. So, yeah, that's where I'm coming from right now. So it is Topsnap Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching again, like I've always said, I take my hat off to you for watching. Make fun. Subscribe. Talk shit. Leave comments. Shit, I don't care. That's what this is all about. Talk shit on me. You can give me some praise if you want. I always like those things. But most of all, this is just me doing my thing. And listening to my phone ring constantly while I'm on the podcast. I definitely need to get some people in here right away. It's going to be fun. Set it down. Do the podcast. It's topsnappodcast.com. You can check it out at Topsnap Media. That's my site, topsnapmedia.com. You can just stream it right from there. You can download and listen to it from right there onto your phone. You don't have to stream anything. You can go offline. We are also on SoundCloud. SoundHound is a little different. We're on SoundCloud. I'm trying to get us on iTunes. I'm not smart, man. I'm having a problem getting on there. And on a couple other platforms we're trying to get on. So the main one is right here on the YouTube channel. That's the super simple one. I do put clips on Instagram. So if you're watching this on Instagram, check out the Topsnap Podcast on YouTube. Appreciate that. Go ahead and subscribe and like the video, or not like it and subscribe anyways. I would appreciate the like. I'm rambling. I know this. I got to get going. It's a long day ahead of me. It's about 1 o'clock. And I definitely want to see. It's actually 2:20. Oh my God. Doesn't time fly? If you feel like time flies, raise your hand. Time flies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors and loved ones, animals and animal crackers alike, check us out. Tune in. If you subscribe and you get your notifications, it will go ding on your phone when I post up a video onto the YouTube site. So go ahead and do that. That would be awesome. Subscribe, like, and subscribe to the notifications too so that you can see when these come up. All right. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I appreciate that, you guys. This is just a thing I'm doing. It's the fun thing to do. So check it out. Topsnap Podcast, Topsnap Media. On Instagram, its username is Jay. Also, check out my co-host, Lalava333. She's on Instagram. Again, it's Lalava, Lalava 333. And check out all her granola postings and ways for a subtle, better life. She's a massage therapist. She is into everything from Kundalini to regular yoga to, like I said, she's a massage therapist. She's holistic. She is a certified hypnotherapist. She is badass. And she's a hell of a cook. All right, you guys. Love you. Peace. I'm out.